guys, it's Nina from VRFocus, and today is going to be a video about the top 5 VR experiences VRFocus had at Gamescom 2018. And if you haven't already, check out the previous video about Nvidia's RTX graphics cards because that is going to be absolutely revolutionary for the development of virtual reality. So let's check out the top 5 VR experiences at Gamescom 2018. The Zone of the Enders, the second runner, Mars. Mars with an upside down A. Now, if you've already played this game on the PlayStation, then you will already know what the story is or who the characters are, because it is going to be exactly the same. But the difference is that the perspective for this one is going to be very, very different. Instead of playing in third person, you're going to be playing in first person inside of the mech warrior suit. So if you absolutely love playing as a mech warrior, you will absolutely love this game. This is the first VR experience that Konami has created, and boy is it daring. It is challenging because if you do not dodge at the right time, or if you don't do something at the right moment, you dead, you fail, that's it, you're gone, finito. It's a seated experience that you either play on the PlayStation VR with a DualShock controller, or you play it on the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift with the Xbox controller. The reason being is because the melee combat system is so complicated that it won't exactly work with the touch controller, so instead you're going to be playing with the gamepad. This game really mixes aerial combat with melee fighting, and it does it extremely well. On top of that, the game also takes control of the player's viewpoint, meaning that whilst you're playing the VR game, suddenly the game is going to be viewing something specific, and usually that's a huge no-no in virtual reality because someone is taking control of what you're seeing. But it works. It's absolutely fine. You're completely fine with it. It's totally okay for someone to be controlling what you're looking at. They've got some smart visual blinkers or little visual cues that will all make it feel okay. So the reason why this is on our top 5 VR experience at Gamescom is because it mixes aerial combat very well. It is very fast, it is very challenging, so you need to be a good gamer, and it offers a new perspective to virtual reality. Now, if you are purchasing the game, it's coming out on the 6th of September for the PlayStation VR or the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, and you are going to be in for a big fight. Next up is Skyfront by Levity Play. This is a first-person shooter, multiplayer, zero-gravity type of experience where you are shooting the opponent in a circular map. Right now, the game is available in early access on Steam, and when it comes out of early access beta, it is coming out to Windows Mixed Reality headsets, to the Oculus Rift, and to the HTC Vive. Now, this is already out in several VR arcades, and it is extremely popular. We can definitely see it as being a very popular type of game when it comes to VR arcades or esports because it is so intuitive. Just like the Zone of the Enders, the second runner, Mars, this is also an aerial combat VR type of experience. You are going to be flying in zero gravity space. You've got 2 different ways of moving throughout the map. You got a grappling hook, which you can hook on to different areas on the map and you can pull yourself forward, or you can change your weapon layout and you can kind of get like something that propels you forward, so you can have that on both of your hands, or you can switch up to different types of weapons. There's going to be 7 different types of weapons, 4 different types of maps, and you'll be able to customize your avatar as well, and you will also have special abilities and different types of game modes. For a virtual reality first-person shooter multiplayer game, this offers so much. Kind of think like Echo Arena, but the maps are a lot bigger and they are very, very stylized and very different and unique in look. And at Gamescom, there were a ton of kids waiting to play this game. One of the reasons why it's on our top 5 VR experience list is because it's so intuitive. You don't need to have anybody telling you what to do or how to play the game, really. You kind of get to grips with the game really, really quickly. It's very intuitive, and within moments or within seconds of playing around with the buttons and experimenting, you're playing the game and you are trying to defeat your friends or your enemies, and it is a lot of fun. So if you enjoy aerial combat, this is definitely a game that as well does not make you feel ill when you're flying around in zero gravity maps, and it is very competitive and a lot of fun. Arizona Sunshine by Vertigo Games. Woo! go Dutch VR Studio. Now, if you have already played virtual reality, then you might already know Arizona Sunshine. It has done extremely well and is very popular in the VR community. This is a zombie first-person shooter, and you can play it with co-op, and it is coming out to VR arcades this fall. There's already one location in the world that has already confirmed that Arizona Sunshine is coming to their out-of-home entertainment location, Dreamland VR in Toronto, Canada. Congratulations, there will be more locations that will be opening up, but at Gamescom they were showcasing what the possibility of this experience would be. Number one, you're wearing an HTC Vive Pro, and number two, you're also going to be wearing an HTC Vive wireless adapter, meaning that you are completely untethered. There are no wires, and you can also play this with 4 different people. Now at Gamescom, several of the headsets weren't working, so my colleague and another guy came in and played the experience. And this is about a 20-30 minute experience, so I think you kind of really get your money's worth. A lot of the time when you go to out-of-home entertainment VR locations, the experiences are very, very short. For example, like Mario Kart VR was super, super short. But this is about a 20-30 minute VR experience. It's roughly based on the map of the Dead Man DLC, and you can clearly see how immersed the players are when they're in the game, because they will be ducking, they will be like slowly trying to balance themselves on things that aren't there. They're just completely immersed, and when you come out of the experience, you're going to be laughing, you're going to have a lot of fun because it felt so real. Now, I think this is a huge success for any out-of-home entertainment location VR experience, and if you've never played virtual reality before and you want to take it to the next level and you want to make it cooperative and very fun, either with family or with friends, I definitely think this is going to be a great experience for VR arcades around the world. Exodus Burnt by Pillows Willows VR Studio. This came completely out of the blue. Pillows Willows VR Studio did not even have a booth at Gamescom. They just guerrilla styled it. They just came in and they were showcasing out-of-home entertainment, full body tracking, motion VR, esports multiplayer. Without a booth, without a stand. They just came and they basically partnered up with a startup company called VREE, V-R-E-E, and they have created a full body motion tracking suit that is capable of playing multiplayer with the VRFocus, so inside out tracking, meaning that there were absolutely no trackers. Our colleague Pete put on the suit, and for the first time he didn't have any problems putting it on, which is really, really great. He played against one of the developers of Pillows Willows VR Studio, and they went in and they played the game, which is called Exodus Burnt. Essentially, these are different rooms where you are competing with the other player to solve the puzzle in the game. Every experience in every single room is different, and that's how you level up. This experience in total can be played with 4 different players. It can be played in a 4x4 space, and so therefore it is very, very movable. You can bring it to a cafe that has a space, or you can bring it anywhere. And on top of that, they also have an iPad app which allows you to see what the players are doing in-game. Meaning that whilst you're at a cafe or you're in a space and you want to see where your friends are doing in their full body motion tracking suit and the headset, you can actually see it, you can stream it. And in the future, they want to make it interactive as well, which means you might be able to move the camera in-game, looking at your colleagues or your friends or strangers as they go through the experience, which will make watching or being part of the experience a lot more interesting because you're inside the game. The reason why this is on the top 5 VR experience at Gamescom, even though they didn't have a booth, is because for me, I thought this was extremely groundbreaking. They did not have a huge warehouse setup. They did not have any OptiTrack sensors anywhere. They simply had the VRFocus and this full body motion tracking suit with an iPad. And that's it. They drew a huge crowd. Lots of people were trying to figure out what they were doing, and it just seems like a quite easy setup. You don't need to have all of the complicated trackers. You can roll around on the floor if you really want to, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Side of you? Yeah, here. And you need to find the badge again.
Love Story from Motherland in VR was actually a VR experience which was in Korean. So I didn't actually know what was going on, but the reason why I was blown away was because it's historical, it's educational, it's experiential. The first part of the experience was me going down a corridor looking at different clips of the South Korean War. And I went on further, looked at little yellow emblems and walked towards it to then transport myself to another space where I saw generals talking about the map, about being in war. I then suddenly was seeing a soldier write a letter to his mother, and then out of nowhere, I was in the war.
The gun.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, and shoot
oh my god!
red
What?
arrows.
Okay.
Can you see the tank?
I have to shoot the tank?
Yeah, right.
What the hell? And I was completely taken aback. I have never played a VR educational experience where not only am I passively being educated about something, even though it was in Korean, but I was also taking part in it. I think this really displays how South Korea is so technologically advanced, how they really understand what virtual reality can do for education, and what was the most insanest part about this was that it was created by 18-year-old high school students.
Yeah,
And there's more?
they are developing, and they are planning to develop another story of our Korean War.
Yeah.
And this program is already exhibited in a Korean museum.
And the company name is?
Advert Game Korea, and
Okay.
which is based on high school students. Actually, the amazing thing is the developers are high school students.
This was high school students?
Yeah, right. Like him.
You're high school?
Yeah, he is just 18 years old.
Wow. This really showcases what South Korea is doing with virtual reality. For this reason, we put it on our top 5 VR experiences simply because it blew us away with what educational and VR experiential experiences can be. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out VRFocus's YouTube channel in the next few weeks because I'm going to be posting a lot more interviews and a lot more videos about Gamescom 2018. And I will see you in the next video.